Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. Starting this week with a couple of movie reviews, because I went to see some movies finally, because it's Memorial Day weekend, so now starts the summer movie season, so now there's going to be a bunch of movies that I want to see, and I'm going to be giving my A-list, AMC A-list, a bit of a workout. Because with AMC A-list, I can see movies that I normally wouldn't bother going to see in the theater, and would normally wait and just watch on Netflix or something. Like Brightburn, which is the story of what if Superman was evil. It's basically a childless couple finds a baby in a crashed spaceship and raises it as their own son, but instead of becoming a hero to save the world, he's there to destroy the world and kill everyone in sight with his super abilities. Unfortunately, it is not as clever as the premise probably deserved. It's not bad, it's fine, it's totally worth a Netflix rental, but like, don't go see it, don't spend 10 or 15 bucks to see it in the theater. It's fine to wait and see it on TV. It's okay, but it doesn't do anything surprising or unexpected with the premise. It's a kind of predictable, it's sort of like, okay, and yes. I was a little surprised at how gory it was. That was appreciated. Usually these sorts of things, you know, horror movies skimp on the gore. They don't do that anymore because then they don't get an R rating. But this was juicy. This was, I'm feeling like the MPAA is like loosening their stranglehold and we're allowed some really nasty stuff now. I wish that they had done more with the kid. Because at first I thought, oh, this kid's not a good actor. But then he was, and the best parts of the movie were when he was being a super creepy kid, and they didn't play that up enough because they wanted to just get to the next part where he was going to use his powers to kill somebody. So, I kind of wish it had been better. It had a lot of potential, and it was just sort of fine. The other movie that I saw was also just sort of fine, which is the new live-action remake of Disney's Aladdin. And I will say one thing about these live-action remakes that Disney keeps pushing out. They are giving me a renewed appreciation for the incredibly talented animators who created those original films. Because all of those characters, even though they are just ink and paint on acetate cells, have more emotion and presence and character than these live-action actors playing them now. Those animated cartoons have so much more personality. And, like, for instance, in Aladdin, like, the live-action actors are fine. Aladdin is cute, although his wig line is a little distracting. In the beginning, he has, like, this fringe that's fine, but then later, when he's Prince Ali, it's, like, smoothed back, and it's weird looking. It was very distracting to me. I don't know why. That kept catching my eye. But the animated characters are not great. Like, Abu is super awesome in the original film. He has so much personality, he's his own character, he's awesome, and, like, great. And in this version, Abu is just a realistic-looking monkey that's kind of cute sometimes. Like, he does not have even a tiny percentage of the personality of the original cell animated version of the character. You know? And like Raja, the tiger is just a tiger, as opposed to a tiger with personality in the original animated version. And this is why, like I said this when I was talking about Dumbo, which is still my favorite because of the remakes, because it actually created its own story, as opposed to the others, which are like just literal scene-for-scene recreations with some tweaked dialogue and an extra song. But the realistic animals are not cute. So The Lion King, every time I see that trailer, I'm just like, yikes. The special effects are fine. Will Smith is actually not terrible as the genie, but there are moments when he, like, kind of Will Smiths it up. Like, his personality comes through, and that was so much more entertaining than when he was trying to, like, just do the lines that Robin Williams did. Like, when they gave him some lines that were specially made for Will Smith, those had much more personality to it, and he kind of came to life a little, and it was almost entertaining. But those are few and far between, so the rest of the time he's just sort of there. Like Brightburn, Aladdin is not terrible, but I don't see why it has to exist because the original cartoon is fantastic and it told the story with a half an hour less time. I did go see this because it was in 3D and I thought it might look cool in 3D, and there are some pretty nice 3D, there are some nice uses of 3D with stuff coming out of the screen and that sort of thing, and it was like, you know, that helped keep me interested because it's literally the same movie as the original Aladdin. Like, it's the same plot. I mean, they tweak a few things here and there to give Jasmine a little more presence and a little more oomph to her character, but overall, it's literally just the same movie. So, I guess go see it if you like Aladdin. I'm just wishing that Disney would stop doing these remakes and maybe do something new. I will say that I saw the trailer for Maleficent 2, and the 3D looked fantastic. It was really good. So I'm probably going to end up going to see that, which is an original Disney film. But I haven't seen the first one, so I'm going to have to go and watch that one first, I think, so I know what's going on. I don't want to jump right into gaming. Actually, no, you know what? I don't have a lot of gaming to talk about, so let me just talk about Assassin's Creed Odyssey real quick before I get to what I really wanted to talk about this week. Still enjoying Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I was a little irritated. I just finished a main story mission that involved 2 boat fights, which were, like, super not cool. First I had to clear the harbor, and then I had to go kill one of these cult assassins, and I had to kill a cult member who was with his fleet over by another island, and I'm just like, oh my god, I hate the boat missions. They suck, I'm not good at them, the boats don't control well, and I hate them. So I'm hoping that there are minimal, because whenever I see a side quest that says naval, I don't do it. So I'm hoping that there aren't too many, like, required naval missions for the story. Maybe these are it? I don't know. There's probably more. I'm sure there's more. I also was very excited because I upgraded my spear again, and I thought that I was upgrading it from level 3 to level 4. And I have a bunch of my favorite abilities that I have purchased with my ability points, but I've maxed them out. I can't get to the final level to I haven't maxed them out. I can't get to the maxed out level of 3. I'm at 2 of 3. And I can't max some of them out because you have to have a spear level of 5. And I thought I was going from spear level 3 to 4, but as it turns out, I was at 4, so this was level 5. So because I thought, oh crap, because the next level up for the spear, you have to get 22 more tokens from killed cult members, and I'm like, that's literally everyone, so how am I supposed to max out my skills if I have to kill all the cultists? But then I was like, oh, this makes so much more sense that you don't have to kill all of the cultists. I mean, it'll probably be easier to do the end game if you do. And I am going to do it because I do enjoy killing them because it's very satisfying for some reason. But I am now at level 5, so I can start maxing out all my favorite skills, which is awesome. Because I was going to start, like, stockpiling ability points, but now I don't have to, which is cool. But what I really wanted to talk about this week was the Game of Thrones finale last weekend, which aired after I taped last episode. And I don't want to talk about necessarily the Game of Thrones finale. I want to talk about the reaction to the Game of Thrones finale and other things. It's absurd. I feel like the reaction to the actual finale was less vitriolic than the ones to the previous episode, where there was the big twist with Daenerys, which was not a twist, and if you didn't see that coming, you weren't paying attention all 8 seasons. But like, people were like upset at how it ended, and there's like a petition online to get HBO to redo the entire 8th season so that they can get the story that they want. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, what kind of misery level bullshit is this? Like, this is a work of entertainment. Just like every book, comic book, television series, and movie, and play, and musical, anything like that. It is a work of entertainment. You consume that entertainment, and then you say, I liked that. Or you say, I didn't care for that. I don't know when it happened, but somehow along the way, fans became entitled. They felt entitled to get what they wanted. And when a television series or a movie does not end the way that they wanted it to, they demand that they change it for them so they can have what they wanted. It's insane. Like, what, who, I can't even fathom how that thought process works, because my brain doesn't function that way, because I am not an idiot. And I don't understand this sense of entitlement. I mean, it's been going on for a long time, and I'm probably pretty sure that it started with the rise of social media. Because back in the day, when you didn't like how a TV show or a movie was, like, you would go and you would complain on, like, some message board somewhere or in a news group. Remember news groups? That's how old I am. Maybe some of you are that old too. And you would just complain. So it was like this small, little, isolated group of dedicated fans, and they would go, oh, I didn't like what happened in this week's episode, blah, 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 and this is why. And it was a bunch of like-minded people. But once the internet expanded, and you had Facebook and Twitter and everything else, like, people on Twitter are just ridiculous. They're like, this is terrible, and this is why, and my opinion is better than everyone else's, and everyone should listen to me, and HBO should redo the Game of Thrones finale because it was wrong. And I'm just like, it's not wrong! It is what it is. Accept it, deal with it, and move on. I remember, back in the day, when I saw Alien 3, I came out of that theater saying, that movie sucked. That was the worst movie. It ruined the Alien franchise, because Alien was awesome, and Aliens was incredible, and Alien 3 fucked it all up. After a little while, I got over it. That was my initial reaction. And then, once I got over it, and I realized that initial reaction was simply because I didn't like the ending where they killed Ripley. Spoiler alert, but the movie's really old. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. I was just reacting to that. You know? But then once I said, no, actually, it is kind of a good movie. The studio messed it up, and it could have been better. But it does have some nice stylistic touches to it, and it is really cool, and it has some nice moments. And it is kind of a fitting end for the character of Ripley, I thought. But at the time, I was like, no, Ripley's the hero, she has to live. And I'm like, no, not necessarily. Bad things happen, and then you deal with it and move on. So, like, I didn't have a problem with what happened in Game of Thrones. It all felt right to me. I mean, yes, it could have been done better. If they'd had an extra 3 or 4 episodes this season, they could have told the story, and some more character motivations would have made a little better sense, like Jaime Lannister's, who's made no sense, and Brienne got kind of screwed over by that whole, like, rush to the end of the plot. But, like, overall, I was satisfied with it. And, like, I just don't understand these people who get on the internet and complain about stuff, and it's one thing to say, I didn't like that, and this is why. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But it's not okay to demand the creator of said media change said media to suit you. He didn't make it for you. He made it for everybody. But not everybody's going to like everything, obviously. So you make it for the audience. And some of the audience is going to greatly enjoy it. And then some of the audience is going to say, I didn't care for that. And that's how it's supposed to work. If you didn't like it, move on. I'm sorry that you spent 8 seasons getting invested in a story and you didn't like how it ended. That's how it's ending. And they're all like, oh, the book will be better. I'm like, no, the book's going to end basically almost the same way. I mean, it'll probably be better because he'll have more time to tell the story and he'll get, because it's a book and every chapter is from the perspective of a character, he'll be able to get inside the characters' heads and make their decisions make more sense, as opposed to the television show where it's all happening in the actors' eyes and their performance, and they've only got like a scene or two, and they can't quite sell it because it's too rushed. But, oh my god, just get over it. I'm like so over people complaining, oh, I don't like the way this TV show is going. You know what? I wasn't crazy about the last season of The Flash. I didn't think it was great. You know what I can do? I can stop watching The Flash. But I'll give it another try and see if next season improves any. I also thought that Legends of Tomorrow kind of lost its way towards the end of this season. They sort of got it back on track at the end, but, you know, I'm not demanding that they go back and redo this season of Legends of Tomorrow and fix that. It is what it is. If you don't like it, don't buy it on Blu-ray to add to your collection. Just forget it ever existed. And with Game of Thrones, go read the book. Alright, rant over. And I will see you back here next time where I promise I'll talk more about games. Okay? Because it is a gay gamer video podcast, and I don't really talk about games that much. But that was really bothering me, and I had to get it off my chest. So thank you for letting me vent. And I'll see you next time. Bye!